Yeah. So with the testimonial part of things, we will come down. This div here belongs to what we are seeing here. We give that div a background image, and then we choose this lady's picture, and on top of the background image you have put some linear gradient there. But inside the div itself, we have put an h1 item and an anchor tag, which is what we are seeing here, an h1 and an anchor tag. After we gave that div, keeping the h1 and the anchor tag, a background image, we intentionally gave, this is what cont2, yeah, this is the cont2, this is the background. Where's the background? Where's the cont2 itself? The cont2, this is it. After giving it a background image, we give it a height and a width, and that is what made it to stretch upwards and then span across. And when the image repeats itself, then you gently what? Command it to stop the repetition by using background repeat. Say no repeat. And also position it center. You say background position center. Background size to cover, to fill up the cover space, which is what we have here. All right. So we'll create another div that will come under what? This one. So let's call that one testimonials. So we say dot testimonials. Press on the tab key to create a div for us. And without testimonials, look at it. Let's consider the whole of this thing as what? A testimonial div. Okay. Let's consider the whole of this. 1, 2, 3. They are all inside a testimonial div. So we are going to have an image and a p element inside their separate div, so that we can give them a display of flex, so that they line out in one line. Then another div separately to keep this p text, this paragraph text, and that one will come just under this one. Okay, so we have a div, which is what testimonial div, which is what, okay, that's the one that we just created right now. A div having a class of testimonial, and that is what the one that is going to keep everything as what? A container for this. Then let's create a box. Let's create a box to keep one of this. Okay, create a box. All right, let's create a box. So before I continue, I want to tell you that we are going to create, first of all, a div and call it testimonials, and that testimonials is going to keep this one, second one, and a third one. Okay, but then we want to keep them separate. So let's say box. Okay, let's call it box. So we'll create what? Box inside that particular one. Dot box. Press on tab, then we'll open it up. What are we going to do first? We are going to keep this image and then this p item in its own div. Let's do that. So say div, div. And this div is for what? The image, and then what is for the image and this p element. And under that div, we want to have a p for only this. So we're going to create another one. Let's step out of this and create another div. Okay. So remember, we have a what? This div called testimonial, and it's the one that is going to keep all these boxes. This first box, second box, third box. Okay. So we are going to work on doing the first box first. Okay. Only the first box. Okay. Let's do the first box. But when we are done, we'll just copy and paste to just do for the rest of it. Okay. So we're going to work on the first box, and this is the first. We created a div, and we'll call it box. Give it the class of box, and inside it, what are we doing? We made it two divs. The first div for the image and its p, and the next following div that is down there for this p. Okay, that is the ideology. So let's open the first div inside the box here. What are we going to put inside it? First of all, an img pack tag, and after the img, what is going to follow? We have the ing and what the p element. Let's do that. And then an p element. Let's bring an image inside the what? Inside here. So we should choose an image. We have already used this one. Gentleman. Let's use gentleman. Okay. Gentleman. Let's use gentleman. So we say inside this folder called images, we are going to use gentleman. This is it. Click on it. Ctrl+S to allow. Let's go to the website. See that it's very huge. That's grown very huge. No problem. That's no problem at all. And then down there, the text. We don't have anything to type. Just type lorem. 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 How many text do you want? How many of the the words do you need? We want like 20 words. And you press on tab to automatically create 20 words under or the 20 words, and need to put it inside that p element for us. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. So sorry. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. We don't need 20 elements. It's just a name. Just a name. After the image that we brought there, then we have what? A p element giving just one name. Okay. So after the image, we have a p element keeping a name. Let's call it rockstar. Rockstar. Ctrl+S to save. Then this is the div keeping the image and the p. Image and a p. And under it, we have another what? Separate div again. That's this one here. And that's the one going to keep the what? That one, let's put a p element there to keep text for ourselves. Lorem 20. That means paragraph words with what? 20 words. Okay. Just sentence with 20 words. That's all. Sentence with 20 words. So when we go and check in our website, we have the image that has appeared so bulky. Then we have his name Rockstar, and we have what? A p element. All right, let's work on styling it and making it a box. Okay, let's do that quickly. Close this part. Now let's call that box class. We'll call that box. Okay. And one more thing is that okay. All right, let's call this box class, the one keeping the image, and then what? Because the whole of this thing you're seeing is a box. This is a box. This is a box. Okay. But they are all lying inside an outer div, which is this one called testimonials. Okay. So let's create our first box. We're creating our first box. So let's call the box in the CSS and style it. This is our first. Let's call it box. We'll come down. Dot. Let's put box. Okay. Dot box. All right. Let's see that by changing the width, will it alter the image size? Width. And we are changing the width for what? The entire box itself. And let's see whether it will shrink the image down, which is what we are seeing here. Will it shrink the image down? If it doesn't, then you have to what? Point towards the image itself and do that. So a width of, let's say, 200 pixels, and let's save that and see. All right. You see that it has taken effect. It has made the p element to obey, but the image is still having its size. So that means the image is still not refusing to grow down. So we have to give it a command of a width of 100% so that it will fill its container, 100% of its container. Okay. So what we'll do is that we will point towards that image. We'll point towards that image. So that div keeping the image and a p. The image and a p. Let's give them a special class name. Very important, because you give them a display of flex to put them in one line. So let's say class a class of, let me close this down. Okay, can we zoom in? Oh, it's too large. It's too large. A class of All right, class of let's say um inner box. Okay, let's say profile prof control plus s. Okay, let me copy that. So I can just call the name of this class and then point towards the image. Okay, so I'll say dot that class and I'll say img and I say width 100%. Control plus s, go and check. What happened? If it was not okay, 100% of what? 100% of what? 100% of what? This outside box. Remember that we give that outside box a width of 200 pixels. And since this image is having a div that is lying inside that box carrying it, when we give that image a width of 100%, it will try and occupy the width of its parent div. It will try to occupy the width of the div that it is lying inside, which is this. Okay, that is the ideology. That's what just happened here. We try to give it a width of, let's say 25. Oh no. You do so much work. So by giving a width of 100%, it will try and run and then come down to occupy the width of. So let's control plus. Let's just right click, come to inspect. Then let's see something here. This is a class. This is a div called testimonial from the left to right, and this image is the prof, and it is lying inside. This is a div called box, and then the image has occupied 100% of that box. That image is having what? It's inside a class called profile. Okay, and they are lying inside this big class here, a div of what? Box. So we just give the image a width of 100%. That means occupy the width of the div that you are lying inside, and that's what? The box. And inside the box we have the prof div. I believe we are clear. So instead of giving some width, whatever, and also that. Okay, that's fine. And now the image. Since we don't want to have it occupy the width of 100%, but rather we want it very small. Okay, then we can say it should occupy probably even lesser. What about 30%? See that has become small. That's a nice strategy. Okay, it should come 30% of whatever div is lying inside. So it is inside this one. It will say become 30% of what you are lying inside. That's the box here. Okay, now that image will give it to what? A border radius, border dash radius. 50% will do. 50% to give it, to make it rounded, perfectly rounded. And that div that is keeping the image and the p, we want to stretch them in one line. They are blocked, so let's make them come in one line. Control plus C to copy that class prof. That prof class dot prof. We say display inline. Oh, flex. Use flex. So that we have the profile at the left, and then what? That particular its name at its right hand side, just as we have here. Okay. If I say the inline, you'll not be able to have some properties like gap. That's why we choose the flex. Okay. So also let the name come down, so maybe at the middle side of it. So align items center. So that same prof, at the same prof, these things, the two of them come to the what? The center. So align dash items center. Now it has come to the center. What about give some spacing between them? That's where the flex box is very useful. So we say gap of 20 pixels. Well, let's do. Yeah, that's okay. You can also point towards this font itself and then give some nice styling. Okay. And then what about the box? The width you give the box, is it enough? Is it okay? Try and give it some small background color. Oh, that's not it here. The box, which is actually this one here. Give it some background color. Maybe something gray. So background color. If you select any color, just make sure that you push it out to the gray side. Okay. Gray. Just hover around on top of it, pick the selector and drag it to any place. But mine is trying to look stubborn here. It's okay. So what are we trying to do? We want it to be a little whitish, but it should reveal itself small, as in this place here. But then you can also try to fade it out even a little more. Oh, shift it towards the white corner area. That's what we want to do. See, this thing is really wow. All right, looks like my mouse is a little bit stubborn. Okay, it's okay. That's not bad at all. Now, what are we going to do next? We are going to apply some little bit of, let me say, when we go to this image, you notice that it is long. Okay, so that means it is raining here. So that means the width that we gave to the box, which is this one, the one keeping all the the p items, want it to stretch. Okay, so why not make it like 400 pixels, and let's see, Ctrl plus X. That is too much. You should step down to 350. All right, how many of them do we need? 3 of them, right? I think I should bring it down to somewhere like 250 or 260 will be fine. It is okay. It is okay. All right, now watch what we are going to do. Okay, we are going to give some small padding, some padding inside. So looking at our image, it is really stretched. That's okay, but then there is some padding. So what we can do is that we can increase the width a little more, let's say to 300. Okay, but then you have to apply some padding inside that box. Okay, padding, top and bottom to 0, but the left and right, you want to make it, let's say 50 pixels. Even the top and bottom, you want to even do some padding, of course, 20 pixels. That's okay. All right, that's cool. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. But then the card width itself, I'm seeing it to become big now. I'll reduce it down to 250 pixels. Maybe 260 is okay. All right. All right. Now, what I'm going to do next? You will take this thing and duplicate them. Several of them. Okay. This box, which is actually what we just created right now, the whole of this. You want to just copy, paste it several times, still inside this testimonial container. Okay, so copy the box. This is here, from here till this place. Ctrl plus C. I'll say double space, come down, paste, double space, paste. So we are going to have 3 of the same thing inside the testimonial. That's the most outermost one. Okay, so look at them. 1, 2, 3. What I'm going to do next, we are going to see this testimonial class. Ctrl plus C. Let's come down, paste it. Okay, let's give a display of flex to put them in one line. Display of what? Flex, to remove them from block and give them inline style. So let's do that. Let's say display flex, Ctrl plus S. Okay, now they're all in one line. That's cool. How about this part? See the spacing here and see the spacing here. They're not enough. They're not equal. So we want to bring it to the center. But remember that we created some container style container yesterday. I'm looking for it in the CSS container. We created a container class and we give a width of 80%, margin 0 auto. That is what always shift things to the center. So also put this container class inside that div. That div, yeah, the parent div, the div carrying all of the boxes. Just add that class. To add a class to an already existing one, just give some space and type the name of that class. That's container, control plus S. Make sure the same thing that you have you. Sometimes you just have to copy and then come and what? Make sure that you paste it in the place that you want it to be. So there will not be any mistakes. And now come, it has now shifted to the center very well. Okay. Now, that testimonial class, let's do some margin top and bottom to push things, top and down. Yeah, that testimonial class, we didn't even give it a gap. So let's give it a gap. Gap of what? Is it 25 pixels to be okay? Right, go and check. Wow, there is some gap spacing. That's okay. How about the margin? Margin, top and bottom. Somebody will say, I want 2%, left and right, 0. Margin, top and bottom, 2%, left and right, 0. What happened is that it has cancelled, it has override the one that we created. 0%. That's override the one that we created earlier on. Okay, so when you do that, you just have to avoid that. Then you can use padding top and bottom, 2%, then left and right 0 will do. Okay, and that is that I started shifting it downwards. 2% is not enough. You can add more, like 10%. That's even gone down even more. So you can see here that it's a little closer, but not too much. So you can bring it down to 8%. All right, but then before these items, there is some horizontal ruler at the top there. And how do we do horizontal ruler? So before you come to the testimonial class, that is after this particular div here, the con2, the one keeping the grow your business, grow your brand, just do HR, press on tab, that is all. HR means horizontal rule, to draw a nice horizontal line. It is even close to the thing at the top, but you have to do some CSS styling and then make it look nice. But I will even need this horizontal line here. All right, now you see this, you just have to do a very quick run up. Okay, since you have the styling for image that is lying inside the box, this prof, when you change the image for the next box, see this box here, the same thing I will copy and pasted here. What to just change is what? The image and then the name. The next one I will copy and paste. What to just change is the image and then the name. Let's do that quickly. So the second one, we'll leave the first one. Okay, change the second one. So let's change the image. We'll remove this one. Let's select is it Jamel? Control plus X. Go and see whether Jamel has been applied. Jamel face has come and replace. Also keeping the same styling. Very nice, right? That's okay. That's the good thing about classes. Class will affect, even if you just take a class from here and go and use to create another 10, if you take the styling that we gave in the CSS, that's very nice. Then we change this name to what? Jamel. Jamel. Control plus S. Go and check and see. It has been applied. Jamel. And this is what Jamel is saying. It's testimonial. Then we have the next one. Also remove his image, gentleman. And then let's choose human. Control plus S. Go and check. Human has come there. And then we just choose black man. like black man. So that is a technique we have used to create the cards, profile cards or testimonial card. Very, very gently. Yes. So we are moving to the next section again. This is what? Kinetics or so. It's a comics or something like that. But I'll not add this. So what are we going to do? We are going to have the whole of this gray background as a div, and then we are going to have this H as a div on its own. Okay. Then we'll create a card, a box, a box card. You can call this one box B, box C, or anything that you want, so that it will not take the styling of the previous box. So then what we do after we create this one, we'll duplicate, we'll just copy, paste the same HTML, copy and paste, and we'll change the image and what the text that is following down there. That is all. It's not anything difficult to be out. So let's do that quickly. All right, so we'll go to the next down there. You're following. Okay, you're following. All right. Okay, so go down there and we'll create another div. And what I'm going to call it, let's call it, is it Canietis or so? Yes. The seniors, seniors. Yeah, seniors. Seniors. So let's call it seniors. Okay. So dot seniors. Yeah, seniors. And that will be the whole of this gray background. This gray background. Okay. Now we want this one to stand alone. We don't want it to have any interference with anything here. We are going to give display of flex. Yeah. Someone will even choose to. Okay. Let's just follow. The rain is falling here. I hope you guys can still hear me clearly without any noise. It's really noisy here, honestly. If you are here, you know that there is really so much noise behind. All right, let's carry on. So you can see clearly that this has become perfectly rounded and perfectly rounded, also perfectly rounded. Nice card styling. Let's proceed. Oh, can you hear me? The rain is becoming and becoming. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
You can hear. Okay,
I
Abdul.
hear you.
Okay, can hear. Yeah, Abdul. So you can hear. All right.
So play the top pictures, these three boxes. Is it okay if we change the border radius, like make it look stylish a little?
Example. Yeah, come.
The same
Example.
way, the top one, I think the lady on the top. This let's grow your brown together.
Mm-hmm.
The border radius.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible doing the same on those three photos down there?
As in the border radius, using a border radius of 10 pixels.
Yes.
Yes, it's possible. But then, if you want to do something that is rounded, as you have over here, you have to use like 50% to make it rounded. Okay. You can choose to make it stay as a square. It won't matter. To still work, to be nice. Okay. All right. So let's proceed. So what are we going to do? We're going to create a div. So say a div, and that div belongs to this name here. Is it a cinetics or something like this? Cinetis or kinetis or something like that. Then we'll have a separate div for this ones as well. Let's do that. Another div again. All right. Now for the first div, so we're going to put inside it this h. This is h2. Let's say what? senior ticks, something like that. Yeah. All right. Synthesis. Then we'll jump out of it. But now to the what? The next div. And that's the one that we are going to what? Put in this card. Okay. So we have an image. We will have an image. And then some H5. Or probably H4 will do. All right. So what would you do? So if you have an image img, and then under it we should have an H4. So this is a separate thing. This separate one for what I'm thinking of doing this for you in a way that you will understand very easily. Okay, be more easier. Because when we give this a display of flex, that will make this come inline. And when it comes inline, we'll give it a flex direction of column so that they'll get back into that stacking order. But this will also have their own boxes, which is actually this that we are seeing here. Okay, they will have their own boxes. So we are going to take this one and put them inside their separate div. Yeah, their separate div. And then let's call it card boxes. Card or cards, even cards. It's okay. All right, paste that one inside it. Okay. Control + Z. So this is what a div. And it's already keeping one of the card. That is the first one that we're seeing right now. And when we make the first one, we'll copy it and duplicate several times inside this one. So after we duplicate several times, before we're able to make all of them come in one line, then we have to give this div a class and call that class, and then what? So let's call that one, let's give that one a class and call it card holders. Cards holder. Control + S to save that. So let's immediately let's not bring image yet. So let's say the seniors. Let's call the seniors copy. Let's come down. Then we see let's paste it there. We see a width of 100%. All right, a width of 100%. Okay, and then a background also do a background color. We want something close to gray. Once you choose any color, you can push it to the gray part. It's okay. That's it here. And let's give it a width, a specified height, height. Let's say 500 pixels. We want it very large, so we're targeting that large. All right, it's just fine. Okay, just very fine. Then let's start by creating this first card. Okay, this particular item here, now the kinetics also, that's it over here, right? We can give it a class of container, so that it just jumps to the center, aligning itself to the other ones. All right, then this div, that's cards holder, is the one that is coming to keep all of these cards. Okay, and inside it we've created a div called cards, or let's even say card. Control + Z, card is a card for the first card. Okay, And for that reason, we have an image and an h4. So let's call the first image that we have. So say instead of folder of images, let's put Dave. Let's put Dave there. And then down there, we have an h4. Just under the image is an h4. So what do you say? The CEO and overseer of the entire company. Yeah. Dash Mr. Daveson. So okay. Let's go and check what has come here. And then it is very, very large. So we have to use our CSS to do the styling. But then we want to give it the styling. That's okay. So let's first style what width, the width that we want for the card, okay? Then we'll let the image fill 100% of what? That card. So let's call the card Ctrl+C, and let's come. And let's say a width. Let's give it a width of what? 250 pixels. And let's see. Looks like it has become something like this, so that this one's already following. All right. Then we say the image. Let's point towards the image. We say card image. That means we are referring to this one class of card, and then we are pointing towards the image. Have a width that is 100% of what? The class that you are lying inside. And that will also follow and do that same thing. I hope you understand. Alright. And then this class holder will do something to it. Okay. It's very, very necessary. So we've got a class of card lying inside a card holder. We've created our first card. And that image, like is this Stanford who just asked the question? Stanford also he's asking whether we can make the image to also have the styling as this here. Of course, let's do that here. Okay, as you can see it here, a little bit of curve corners. So we say border radius in that same image, border dash radius. What will it be? 10%, 10 pixels. 10 pixels. That means you don't want enough, but just a little bit of curving. Let's check the output. If it's not enough, you can just add a little more. Probably should go to 20 pixels. Will be okay. That's fine now. Then we have what? This card. And the words are not. So what we are going to do is we'll copy this card and then paste it several times inside this card holder container. Okay. Double space, come down. Double space, come down. How many times? Is it 3 times? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. And another one again. Paste again. Ctrl+S to save. Go and check in the website. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And what are you going to do? Give them the parent container. The container that is keeping this card is what? Cards holder. Cards holder. So cards holder dot cards holder. So I'll just copy the name of that class. Ctrl+C. Come and paste it. Oh. Then I say display. Flex. Ctrl+S to save. Go and check. They have all come to be in one line. I want them to all shift and come to the middle. Okay. What am I going to do? I'll put that container class inside the, I'll add the container here. Container. I'll shift to the center. But let's add some gaps. Okay. Gap. GAP. Gap of 25 pixels will do. To give some gap. Alright. The gap is well applied. All right. And if it's not enough, you can even stretch more to add more gap. For like, let's say 30 pixels or 35 pixels, we do 30 pixels or even 35 pixels. So it apply there. But then this particular parent, this gray background, which is actually the gray background, is coming from seniors. This is here. The seniors is the one keeping the one keeping that container for the synetics and then the cards holder. Okay. What we want to do is that we want to remove the height. We want to remove the height from it. We want to remove the height from it. Yeah. We remove the height. See what happens. It's not more having height. It's not having the height. That is what equal to the height of the items that are inside. So we say padding. So that's why it pushes itself outwards. That is the technique we want to use. So we say padding. Padding. Top and bottom will be, let's say, 15%, and left and right 0. That is even too much. That's too much. Why not go down to 9? We do. All right. I'll step down to like 6. It's okay. Looking here, it's not different. All right. And the synetics, you can give that one some increment of background, and that will also do. And I said that the gray color is very deep. We can drop it down small. Just take the color selector, push it down, Control plus S, and it will also be applied very well. Did it save? I'm not sure this thing moved. Control plus S, then it worked. All right. But then want to change the pictures. Okay. All right. So the first one is Dave. The next one will remove the Dave and put something different. Oh, Control plus Z. So I'm going to put this on. We say smiley face. Control plus S. Check whether it has applied. It has applied. The next one. What do you put there? Header picture. Oh, that is not part of what we wanted to use. We'll go back to what's more. Are we out of pictures? Pick. Okay. And then the next one, this is the last one. I'm not sure we have used L, the end of, yeah. Okay. So as for the dummy test, you can keep it like that. That is for this section, and you are done. Okay. For the text aspect, the CEO can make this one the consultant. Then this one make him okay. If the CEO, the the security agent. Then our next one, we can just say the lab tech. Yeah, they're all having some small description. That's fine. All right. And then clean the Mr. Davison from them. They are not all Mr. Davison. They are not all Mr. Davison. Oh. The ending tag for this one got cleared up. Okay, that is why. Once I was removing Mr. Davison, it took off the ending tag. Save. Everything got fixed. All right, we can carry on. And with this h item, you can give some padding or margin button to push things down. Okay, you can do that right now. Let's see this one, keeping the h2, there's kinetics or something, whatever. Just say seniors, then you point to if just seniors and then h2, it will point to every h2 there. You can add additional class here. Let's call it CEN. It's okay. I'll take that CEN. I'll go install it. Place the CEN here, and then the name of that H, so H2. Let's open margin dash bottom. You can give it 15 pixels. Similar to be enough. I'll go to 35, will do, or even more, 50. All right, this is now okay. All right, you can even increase the size as well. Font size, you can make it 45 pixels. All right, so this that we have here, this follows, and that we order. Then we'll continue. All right, so over here we have a class that is going to keep an image and then an h element. Okay, then we have the p tags. As for the icons, I'll not bring icons inside today. I'll just bring in this clickable this one. I was supposed to teach you icons, but then I think the next class meeting I'll do that before we start. So how do is that we'll create a class to keep all of this, a div with a class to keep all of this. We'll have a separate div to keep the image and a separate div to keep this head and then the p element. Yeah, the head and the p element. Before we'll now add, even could we can even add the a, this can even be an a, that's an anchor tag that will follow again. All right, let us do that immediately. So let's create a class for all of them, all of this, to keep all of this. We create a div. Jump out of what? We jump out of this one. This div, when you click on it to show you, you see that it is for what? Class seniors. Jump out of it. Don't add any code here. Jump out of that div. Jump out of it. Make sure you're not inside the previous divs. This one is for what? The one you're creating earlier. Jump out of it. So you said dot. I want to create a new class. And that one is for what? You see, this is a div for, let's say, sometimes I will even use sections. This section, let's say section 4. I even use sections to separate the divs by section. Okay, this is a section on its own, another section on its own, another section on its own, and another section on its own. I even use sections to give them that naming. So inside that one, we are going to have a div for this image. So let's create a div, div, and another div for this item, HP, and what is anchor tag. So let's create another div again, div. So the first div, let's put the image inside, img. So let's call the image inside the images. You have say, you can just choose lady download. It's okay. Might be very big to even jeopardize things. Not bad at all. Then we'll come down. We'll come down to the next div. That's the one going to keep this HP and this anchor tag. Okay, you command it to go over there. So that one, we have an H there. We're going to have a P element and an anchor tag element. Okay, that's this particular div for this H, P, and anchor tag. Okay, and when we give this section 4 a display of flex, it will make this image div and the other separate div to be in one straight line. That's what we want. Okay, that is our target. So our image is there waiting. This blah blah blah, this H1, let's just write something there. Scotland sleeves. Scotland. I cannot see the name well. I'm just making my own name and putting there. Alright, over here. The image is blocking it, so just here. And then this P, just a lorem. Let's guess what lorem 45 will do. Lorem 50. That's a lot of text of word. That's okay. Because it is elongated now. Because it is elongated, it will work for us. Then apply now. Okay, let's another tag of what? Apply now. So just press the down arrow key so that to send you to the left side. So that what you want to put in there, a tag is what? Apply now. apply, apply now. Control plus S to save that effect. Alright, we have it. That's our first thing. Okay, let's do the styling. So with the styling, this section 4, we can just say section 4, copy the class name, section 4, and we'll call the img image to work. Okay, section 4, we are calling the image element here, and I will give it a width, an intentional width of, let's say, looking at this, it has covered, I think, 25% of the entire parent. Okay, so if, okay, hold on, this section 4, okay, this section 4, if it has a width of 100%, a width of 100%, that means it is moving from left to right of the screen. Okay, then want the image to occupy only 20% of that particular section 4. See what happened? Nice one there. And then we are going to give a display of flex to this section 4 so that this div and this div will all be put in one line. Okay, let's do that. This section 4, give it a display of flex. See it here. But then, if you ask yourself why this has jumped all the way to that place, click on inspect and come and see. Alright, this is the image div. Okay, the image div. Alright, the image div, the div that the image is lying inside. Okay, the div that the image is lying inside has to be given an appropriate width so that it can know how to occupy properly. So this div is the one that the image is lying inside. This is the div that the image is lying inside. Okay, let's give it a class of, let's say, image div. Let's just copy it. We are going to send it to control Z. Oh, all right, that's it here. Control, let's just copy it. Okay, image div, just said, dummy names. Let's give it a width of what? Let's say 20%. All right, that has also taken the 20%. Okay, So what we do is that for the image, we want it to occupy 100% of its parent class. So this is the parent class for the image. And we can be increasing the parent class to, let's say, 50%, and then the image will also be growing alongside with its parent. Okay, its parent with, yeah, that's what is going to be happening. Can even make it 60%, and the image also what grow upwards to fill that 60% of what of the parent class that we are talking about. All right, now the spacing over here is not fine. You can also give it some align item of center to bring them to the center properly. Okay, so let's do that quickly. All right, so let's come to this section 4 over here. Say align items center to keep them to the center. All right, and the image looking it's not bad anyway, but then we are going to alter these images, the image, and then the other words, they are all inside section 4, right? Let's add that container class to send them to the center. Has it been added? Class of container has been added, and then it's still not moving from where it is. All right, in that case, what you can do is that you can take off this, and since there is this image, this wave over here, another wave over here, we can give section 4, so that because section 4 is having a wave of 100%, it didn't really work when we put a container there. For example, look over here. So right now when we add a container, it will work. Container, it will now work because this new width has now, the new width, I've removed it from the container, from section 4. The width has override the old container width. So even when this one is coming to give it a width of 80%, it is seeing 100% here. So to rather change to 100%, that's why it didn't move. Okay, then we want to give some gap, and then also give some gap between all this. Okay, let's do that quickly. Right, first of all, this section 4, want to give some padding. Okay, they want to give some padding. Top and bottom of, let's say, 10%, left and right of 0. Okay, it's cool. Then since that particular section 4 has a display of flex, what can you do? You can give a gap of, say, 30 pixels to give a very serious large gap. It's not enough. You can double it up to 60 pixels. All right, then this is what, but then we want to move this to the other side. This apply button, we even style it. Okay, we even style it. This particular, okay, section 4 anchor tag, if you just call it to work. Okay, section 4 dot section 4 a, you give it a background color. Let's say what background color is here? Black. In black, you got a black background color. Text align right. All right. I wanted to move it to the ending. That's why I said right. If it didn't work, then flex will do. Now let's start the button and finish, and then we'll see how to move it far to that end. There are several ways to do that, to push it to the far end. So what you can do is that you just style it all. Just say you want to change the color, change the color to white, hash FFF will do. Then you want to remove the underlining, so text decoration to none. Okay. And then you want to also add some padding, so that it can, push and then fill some, make you as if it is filled with air. Say padding, top and bottom of 12 pixels, and left and right, or let's say 20 pixels. So it gets very, very elongated. All right. But then there is still a need to give some spacing between them. So this one, you can say a margin top will do. Margin top. That means the top margin, just like 13 pixels to push this thing very well downwards. I didn't see, that means it's not enough. Okay, let me say 35 pixels. Are we referring to this A item? Margin top. And then listen. Alright. If you take out the margin top here, you can still apply the margin to the P element. But then what we'll do is that this H, P, and the A are all in one div. And that is this div here. Let's give them a class name. A special class name called let's say write items. We'll copy that class name and want to use to do the styling. Oh, Control plus X, I did. Be sure that everything is there. All right. So let's paste the name of that class, and let's say display flex. Everything has not been in one line, but I want to bring them in the column order. What do we say? We say flex direction column, flex direction, say column, so that it puts them back again to there. This thing we can now give it a specified width, but I will target only that one. I'll give it a flex of what? Of end. Okay. All right. So we say even the A can now get a specified width. Let's give it a specified width, or a specified width, a width of, let's say 30 pixels. 30 might be very small, so let's say 19. All right. And the right items point to A, so that flex, but just a justify content. Oh, justify content. Okay, justify content. Flex end. Applying flex ending to only the A. Alright, that one you didn't pick up. If you apply the justify content, align items, since you put them in a column direction, then align items is what will make them go to the ending. But then with the A alone, we can push it over there. Hold on just a minute, okay? For the right items, since we have used a flex direction of column, and align items, a flex end. That will push both of them to the ending, but then the A wanted it to be at the left hand side. Okay, where's the A? Or for the heading should be at the right hand side, which is why this is not a good idea. Okay, so what can we do? So what you can do is that with the A, you can choose to push only the A using a margin that will send it over there. Okay, so with the A, remove this. You can use a margin dash left, a margin left to push the A far away from where it is to a new position. So we can say, or we can start using percentages like even 10% to see how far it has moved from that position. You can add more to, let's say, 50% and see it's not going that much, about 90%. It has even gone crowd. 70 video. How about it being in the 75? Alright, so margin is the outermost spacing right now. There is a margin push away from what its left side. Okay. You can even make it a display of absolute, and then the parent being relative. Then we just say left, and that will also work. Okay. They're all styles. So you can move this from 75 to 80, and that will send it a little bit more. That's okay. And then with this, we're supposed to add some little bit of padding to the P items, and the P items too, they are not so readable because they are very close. So let's target the P items and see. So with the right items, let's target the P. Right items, let's target the P. Let's say margin bottom. Okay, margin bottom. I want to put the margin bottom, let's say 40 pixels. We are targeting the P items. Alright, that's pushed this downwards more. And the P items, they are too close to each other. So we say line height over here. Give the line height of 2 and see. That's too open. So you can go down to 1.43 will do. That's okay. Now that has opened up small, it's quite okay. So this is the topmost, the next section again, the next following section. This is the next following section. And now what you can do is that we can copy this and then paste the whole of what you did. That's section 4. Copy it all and then paste again. This section 4, the whole of the section 4, the entire thing. Since we are going to have another thing again that is the same as what we did at the top. Oh, the A, we didn't start the A. The A, border radius. 20 pixels to do. So that has been started. Let us copy the whole of that class, paste, change the name. Okay, copy, and then paste, save, Ctrl+S. That will also create another. But there's an issue here. That we apply some sort of, is it margin or padding? Is it margin or padding to the apply some this section 4 when you go up there, some padding, some padding of top and bottom, 12 pixels. That is what has made it to look like that. With a padding of 0%. Let's see. That isn't the case. What have I changed for? What I've changed for is for the A items. So that 12 pixels was very small in it. That gap was like that. Section 4. See the pattern of 10%. Drop it down to, let's say, 4. It got a little closer. But one thing is that our aim was to make sure that there was spacing between the top and the bottom. Okay. yeah, between the top and the bottom. So what we can do is that we can add a class name and give a margin. Yeah, just whether there should be spacing. There should be spacing. There should be spacing. So if you say padding top and bottom 4%, it will make a padding for top 4% for this one, 4% at the bottom. This one too, also 4% at the top. So this 4 plus 4 here become 8. That's why I've seen so much gap here. This is why it was best to just say padding top, padding engine, padding top will be, let's say, 5%. So that will solve that problem. Yeah, that's all. If they're not too close to, we can still reduce the padding as well. So let's say 3%. 2%. Yeah, okay. But then with this, we really want to let there be some spacing immediately after that section before this. Okay, so what we can do is that with this particular one, this the first, this one that we first made, we can create another special class. Okay, let's call it special class. Special class. Let's copy it, Control plus C, come and paste it as a class. Let's open and say padding top, padding top, and you can give it like 10% so that it overrides whatever padding was given to it, and to shift down. That's okay. Can you see that? That's increased more than what is next. In this image, you want to change it as well, and as well as this name. Okay, so this name should stay. The next one should not be Scotland sleeve. We'll say something like our special agentic services. Control S. That has been applied. I want to remove the special. Our agentic services is okay. All right. Then instead of apply now, we say enroll now. All right. Or get in touch. Oh, can we say message us? Message us. This is the message us. This one is apply now. Okay. And the name, the picture also has to change. This one, the second one, that's this one here. This is the first one. This is the second one. They're all inheriting the style that has been made in the CSS. I want to change lady download. I thought I changed the picture. Let me take it back. Is it still okay? Still the same lady download there. Yeah, let me change it again to pick. All right. Our agentic services. That's fine. So these are digital marketing services, the management, whatever. Let's grow your brand together. Contact us. And these are the 3 cards. Then we have the synetics or what. We have the pictures, and then there are names down there. And the next section, Scotland sleeve, our agentic services, messages. All right. Then, what is next? What comes next is just the footer. The footer. The footer. The footer. The footer looks like we need some images on, but our footer, we'll just do 1, 2, 3. They're okay. We don't want to make any complicated thing. I don't want to do too much of things that make you feel like, yeah, today code there. No, it's too If not, we just have to make this a div, a div, a div, another div. We give all of them display flex and all be in one line. But inside this div, we have an HPP tags, HPP tag in a separate div, HPP tag. Okay, that is all. This technique is just repetitional. So let's go down here. Say footer. The footer part. That's about part of a website. Talk about that. I didn't even talk about that cell crown. We have the header. We have the header part, which consists of what? The nav bar and the landing page or the home page. Then we have the body, the content part. Then we have the footer of a website. Yeah, Google search engines normally go through footer and then heading in order to gather information on our website to display to what users on their search, on their searches. So one day I'll just take time to explain the part of a website very well. Part of a website. And the most important part, cards and all that, carousels, everything. So let's come down to the footer. Inside the footer, we should have a div, another div, another div. So 3 divs, okay. Let's have 3 div. So let's have the first div family, the next div again, and the next div again. All right. The first one, what are we going to put there? The first one should just be about, should just be sitemap, the things that we place at the top of our sitemap. Check on our website and see. We didn't put any home, contact us about. Okay, fine. Then let's do that then. So over here, we have something like head h3. Let's write sitemap, sitemap. Sitemap is used to let users to go through the website. Maybe you scroll and reach the bottom, click on about, click on contact, and try to move them to the next page. But you don't have to scroll and go to the top again. You have a p item. Let's call it about. Okay, home. You're already in the home page, so no problem. I can still add that home. Duplicate. Then the about. Duplicate. Contact section. Okay, then we jump to the next div, which is going to be the one that will belong. That one will belong to these ones. Okay, all right, let's open them up. Down here about, see on h3 again, right? See our company. See event. Event. Let's duplicate again. And we see that schedules. Ctrl+S. All right, and that one belongs to the middle one here. What about the third one? We'll open the next div again. We'll do the same thing. Okay, so we say the same h3 again. That will be our best awards. Yeah, then the first p item, dinner awards. Oh, sorry, I didn't. The second one should be dinner awards, and then what? Championship awards. Okay, so that was even a long text like this. It's not the best. Scroll down, they're all there waiting. Okay, first of all, let's give our footer of background color black. So just go and call it inside the footer. Call it in the CSS. Say footer. Background color. Say black. Okay. Oh, where's our website? See it here. Black. Say text. So we want to change the text color. Just say color. Say white. Okay. F. Everything became white. But remember that these things are in their own div and then this one's also in their own div. This one's also in their own div. So give the footer display of flex. Just put this div, this div, this div in one line, all carrying their own things. So display flex, see it here, and then we say justify content space between, so that to shift them to come and then fill this the middle part, having space, equal spaces between. So justify contents, just a space between. Okay, that is why we did it. I see the first one here, second one here, second, but we'll use padding to what, push them inside. Padding left, so let's do that and see. Padding, padding, padding top and bottom. Oh, padding. What do I keep bringing the n after the g? Padding top and bottom. Let's say 10%. Left and right, let's say 15%. Let's see how much big that become. That's okay. See, that's just done it like the way we wanted. So sitemap, home, about, contact, our company, event schedules, so that when they scroll and they get to the bottom, they'll still find a way out. And this thing, the margin bottoms, like it's not enough. The margin bottom, all right. This particular section 4, no, the down one. Let's add a class, lady class. Any class that you create, it will work. Just make sure that you just point it well. Oh, let's say you want to give it a padding button. Okay, we are referring to this. Just touching the footer. You want to give it a padding button. Padding dash bottom. See it here. It will like 60 pixels. It will respond though. Padding bottom. Lady class. There's it. Lady. Oh, yeah. They are all inside a div. Yes, of course. Section 4. So lady class, yes. Lady class, you should have a padding bottom of 60 pesos. I hope you have overridden. What about 160 pesos? Oh. And it's still not listening. Let me click on inspect and check what exactly is there entirely. So div section 4 and also container, but the next class has not been applied. Why? So you can see div, the name div dot section 4 dot container. That means the next class name has not reflected. That is the issue. This is the next class name. Control plus S. And then what? Oh, now when I did control plus S, now it now applied. But it's too much. Oh, yes, it's too much. Drop that thing down. Don't do like 120 is okay. 120. That's also gone down. Fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have coded our website and we are done. As far as you can add in HR horizontal, this one, you can add a horizontal line. And under the footer items and all those things. So the HR, but you might have to start it small. Oh, it added them in there. That's added the HR inside the flow. I've removed it. So if you add the HR, you have to give it a flex of column. And then you have to, I don't want to do anything like that. So that is it. We have coded the website, our first section, second section, third section, fourth section, fifth, and then sixth, the footer. And then let me end the video recording so that we can take questions.